The transfer window in England and most of the big five European leagues has been shut for the past week, but there are still windows open in Turkey for a few more days. Saudi Arabia, I think, is open for a bit longer in September. And it would be a shock to see any Arsenal players leave. I think if there would be one to leave, Leandro Trossard has been linked with Turkey. It has been reported that Besiktas were thinking about bidding about 19 million for him, but Sky have now said that he's not leaving, he's staying. He's just signed that new deal, not an extension, but just a pay increase to reflect his standing in the squad. And the fact that Trossard staying, of course, he's got a lot of competition for that left wing spot. He's not played a lot this season, but he's one of those players who is almost always fit and available, brilliant fitness record, and he can deliver as a starter, off the bench as well. And the fact that Arsenal have had these injuries piling up already this season, just like last season, was it a no-brainer decision to keep Leandro Trossard?
I don't think it was a no-brainer. I think if there was a good offer on the table, then if I was in charge, which thankfully I'm not, but if I was in charge, then I would have certainly considered it. I think there's enough strength in depth there to be able to cope with his exit. I wouldn't have been pushing him out the door by any means because I still think he's a really useful player, and I'm sure he will be really useful for Arsenal throughout the season. But when I look at the need for Arsenal to bring in some money, there has to be a fairly pressing need there because of the outlay and because of the very minimal amount that has been brought in. So if a decent offer came on the table for him now, then I think it would be pretty wise to consider it. But obviously, Arsenal are very happy with Leandro Trossard. Mikel Arteta is definitely very happy with Leandro Trossard. You're quite right to point out his fitness record. It is impeccable in a time when other people have struggled, and Mikel loves that. Being available is so important to Mikel Arteta and any football manager, really. And he can play multiple positions. He can play across the front line. He can play as a forward if needs to be. His push comes to shove. His finishing ability is very, very strong. He's creative. So, no, he's going to be a useful player, no doubt about it. And I'm sure he'll get plenty of minutes this season. He's been a bit sort of stop-start for him so far with injuries since he's just had a couple of niggling little things this season that have sort of held him back a bit. But I'm sure we'll see plenty of Leandro Trossard this season. There's going to be so many games. If Arsenal achieve what they want to achieve this season, if they want to go deep in the cup competitions, which I know they do, which is why they've built this squad, then there's going to be so many matches. So Leandro Trossard's going to play a lot of football still. So yeah, I wouldn't have been shoving him out the door. If a good offer came in, I think it would have been wise to maybe consider it. But look, he'll play plenty of football, and I'm sure he'll be really, really useful for Arsenal this season.
Just putting you on the spot a little bit here. You said that if a good offer came in, you would accept it. What would a good offer look like to you? Of course, I think he's 31 next year. He's got 2 years on his contract. We all thought it was 1 year previously, but it's 2 years.
Mm.
And I think the fee that was quoted in the reports was 19 million. You think that's a little bit on the low side? I mean, what would you say would be an acceptable price for Leandro Trossard?
Yeah, I think that was 90 million euros, wasn't it? Besiktas, the sort of rumours. I mean, I think 20 million pounds would be. I think you'd be. Yeah, I can't imagine you get more than that for a player of his sort of age, and he's on big wages. Well, decent wages as well. So it would be difficult for a lot of teams across Europe to bring him in. So I think 20 million. You didn't spend that much more to bring him in than that. And if you're getting 20 million back after 2.5 years of really good service from Leandro Trossard, I think you'd have to consider that a pretty good deal. So I think probably 20 million would be the number.